Hi guys, this is my intro. This is John here with Invention Productions. This is my first lesson with on triads. Figured I'd figured I'd give put my little input on my little input of what I learned on a situation. Triads are very important because they're sort of like the bread and butter of any of playing any song, any type of rhythm, and it just makes it so much easier to break down and understand music whenever you're playing. To just operate on to take it down to just three notes instead of seven. It just helps out so much. And triads they make and playing them in different positions. They have such a big impact on expression. So let's begin. Okay. First, I would like to start out with the easy. I think that the high string set is what I started out with first when I first learned them. It's really easy. It's a E5, B5, and G6. It's very simple. And then you start out with that, and then the next one would be then you move up to the next position, and that would be E9 to B10 to G9, and it starts to reminds me of like a pyramid, of like a pyramid for this shape, and then so that would just that's what that sounds like, and then the next position up would be E12 to B14 to G14, and this is just that's just your typical your typical a note, your A position bar chord note. That's a D actually for right there. That's a D. That one right there is a D. Okay, and the best way to practice them is is just to run up and down the fretboard with them if you can. And you want to take them up and down. And another thing that helps out with this easy is another thing that helps with this is to play chord fragments. Don't play the whole chord. You want to do it in fragments. Like one, two, three, just three strings at a time. And it makes it much easier for you to understand the what you're playing to do it like that, because it's easier to hit, the E5 and the A7 and the G7 rather than every single string that's there. It makes it much easier. And it makes it easier for with your scales, easier to break down in scales too. You know. Okay, so that's that. Okay, that's that one. So let's move on up to the next position to the next string set of the A major triad, because there are major and minor triads. Okay, you want to keep that and you want to keep that in mind because any type of playing for blues, the A flat, I mean the major third and the minor third are very very important for blues sound. Okay, so we're working in the majors, and to make a major a minor, it's only moving your third a half step down. So the so for the third for A chord is the C. So you're just going from C sharp to C natural. It's one little finger one. It's a fret jump, and it makes such a big difference. The smallest things on here make have the biggest impact. So okay, moving on. And honestly, practice your majors and your minors together. Practice them together. So that way you don't want to separate them in your mind. I learned that it's so much easier to play if you finger them together. Okay, so so now the next. Okay, so and the next notes, the next strings for the next step up uh, s- uh, would be B5, uh, G6, and D7. And I like to get them in my mind to think. These ones are just like a diagonal shape to me. It's just a diagonal shape. It's so much easier to remember. This one's a little tricky. This one is this one's a little bit more discombobulated, not discombobulated, but a little bit more trickier for fingers to get, because you got to kind of get your fingers up in there, and finger positions is very important. Your fingers are numbered. Okay, you would have your thumb would be T, your index would be 1, your middle finger would be 2, your ring finger would be 3, and your pinky would be 4. Okay, so you want to put two on your A. Okay, that's it. Then your A would be the B10. Okay, and you can either bar, you can do the bar across, and then just put your finger, your finger, one finger over on the A, like that, and then bring your finger three up to D14. Okay, so you have D14, G9, and B10, and that's going to give you this. Okay. And then next, to moving on over, this is the easy one. This is just your typical bar chord, your typical A string, your string 5 bar chord. Okay, and that's just going to be, D14, G14, and B14. And that's pretty that's that for that one. Okay, and then next up you want to go E5, A7, and D7, and that's for your next step up. And then you'll have E12, A12, and D D11. And that's just going to give you this little shape right here, this little tiny shape right here, right at the top. And then after that, you'll want to go. If you'll have E12 and A12 and D14, because you want to play, you want to learn the whole setup. You don't want to just stop. You don't want to just stop at just at these five strings, because the six, sometimes you will have to play. You'll want to play a bass note, and you'll want to know where your fingers go for that bass note. Okay, and that's really it for that, and once you have that, you just start practicing it up the fretboard. And that's just a little blues, a little blues, like it's really easy. Once you learn those to start transitioning your chords, you because triads play into chord transitionings a lot, and they just it makes all that so much easier. But I hope that helps. And thanks for watching, and have a great day.